Good morning, good morning, good morning. We've got people joining STS with DSP as we speak. We've made the transition completely from Facebook and YouTube to YouTube, so I hope you all found your way here. I've got some good mornings already coming. We've got a good morning hello from Connecticut. We'll be there for the seminar next week. We'll be there, question mark, next week, looking to find out about optimizing payroll. Cost of doing business in Connecticut is really high. So, are you coming? Are you not coming? Peter, not sure what the question mark does for me, but I hope I'm going to see you there. That is next week. It's coming up. I got a good morning from Chicago Taco Authority. Good morning, Jose. Everybody else who's joining right now, do me a favor, type in the chat. You got to make sure you're logged into your YouTube account, aka Google account, so you can participate in the chat. But give me a good morning. Let me know that you're here and you're ready. I've got a. Peter says, I will be there. Then I will see you, my friend. That is fantastic. Sorry about the question mark threw me off. Kim Newsom's in the house. What's going on, pompous pig? Kim, weren't we supposed to talk? Didn't you talk with Ryan? Confused. I thought I saw your name coming up. We've got Mary is in the house. What up? Raise the roof. Hope the concert was great last night. I hope you got some sleep. We'll see how productive you are today, right? Steve Eller is in the house. What up, boss man? Right back at you, brother. We got Deja Wakefield hanging out with us. Good morning. Good morning. It was awesome to have you on Live Help Desk yesterday. I hope what we talked about soft opening was something good for you. I've got what's going on? Now I did this before. Consenzio, did I do this right? Fantastic. Good morning. Excited for next week. I will see you in Las Vegas. That is fantastic. We're going to talk about this seminar for those of you who are hanging around on the fence. I'm trying to get name badges sent off to the printer today. So if you're planning on joining me, make sure you go to davidscottpeters.com, click on the 2-day live seminar link at the top. I want to see you in Las Vegas. Ready? It's coming up. It's next week, May 15th and 16th. I hope to see you all there. Who else do I got here? Mike is in the house. What's up? I'll be there. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm gonna promise y'all that it will give you everything you need. Kim said, yes, I did. We'll get back to y'all eventually. Okay. I did see your name. I swear I knew it. All right. I hope y'all didn't miss me too much last week for STS, but I visited my daughter. Her boyfriend was graduating from graduate school. Then we were helping her get all packed up and all the things she needs because she's moving to Alaska on the 18th to a small island called Prince of Wales Island on the rainforest side, the Juneau side of the island. So it's going to be hard to go visit her, or at least expensive, I should say. So we're going to get started here in just a second. Again, welcome you all here to Shoot the Shit with DSP. During this call, man, I am old. During this live, make sure you are logged into your account so that I can see your comments whenever you've got a question, because after I finish, it's all up to you. So let's get started. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. STS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day, get pumped about the upcoming weekend, get excited about crushing goals, and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm Dave Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and your coach. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite topics, a real game changer for restaurant owners who want freedom from the restaurant, a management team that does what they want them to do, and a reduction in headaches because the restaurant was ill-prepared for their shift. That topic is checklists. Again, as a reminder, make sure you're logged into your Google account so that you can participate and I can see your chats in the morning. So, for instance, Angela here is giving me, what's up, Angela B? Give me a good morning here, and I've got one more good morning. It looks like good morning, Mr. David Scott Peters. Now, Haven Suazol. Man, I butchered that, didn't I? I'm so sorry. I'll get there, but I'll get started now. Let's dive into a fundamental, but often overlooked tool that can revolutionize your restaurant's operation, checklists. Checklists are more than just to-do lists. They are the backbone of your restaurant's efficiency and success. They allow you to impose your will without physically being present. Ensure that every aspect of your operation runs smoothly. We'll explore why checklists are indispensable, how to effectively create them, and how to instill a culture of accountability. Plus, I'll share a unique idea from my live help desk about incentivizing managers through a checklist completion bonus program. So, the first thing is the importance of checklists. Checklists are extremely important. So, let's start with the basics. Why are checklists critical? They ensure consistency, quality, and help your team meet your standards of service every single day. They are, quite literally, the keystone to your systems. See, checklists allow us to impose our will without being there. Checklists allow us to make sure everybody does it to our standard. All the things that are in your mind are on a checklist, ensuring they get done on a daily basis. Checklists are not the things that don't work. All too often, we're going to talk about that. Managers and managers and restaurant owners tell me, David, checklists don't work. Wrong. Number one, it's because your checklists suck. And two, you're holding the wrong person accountable. So hold that thought. And we're going to talk about that. The second thing we're going to talk about is the process of creating checklists. Now, this is exact process I teach in my seminars, my workshops, my live coaching program, one-on-one. I'm giving it to you right now, and I'm going to tell you that this is imperative for you. See, creating effective checklists isn't just about listing tasks out. It's about understanding the flow of your operation from close to open. Each checklist should be clear, actionable, and tailored to specific roles and times of day. So to start off, I want you to understand that checklists, your checklists, cannot be too detailed. Like, we've got to make sure that every item is on there. Every detailed, what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, more importantly, when. For instance, we can't have a checklist. A typical checklist says, roll-up bin full. What the hell does that mean? See, I'm a server, and I'm doing my roll-ups, putting my silverware in, the napkins, and I go to get more because the bin's not full, but there's no more silverware. The dishwasher isn't on it yet. And it's the end of my shift, so I go home. I filled it with everything I can. See, that sets you up for failure because in the middle of the next shift, when you run out of roll-ups, all of a sudden servers are scrambling. We delay ticket times. We do all the things wrong. Whereas I need 150 roll-ups on a Monday. I need 350 on a Friday. Specific and clear. Things like, hey, bathroom, clean, check. Have you seen some of your employees' apartments and what they think clean is? You have to say free of water marks on the mirror, free of standing water puddles on the counter. Wipe down the faucet. Make sure that the trash can, if it's 50% full, has been removed the bag, replace the bag. That's specific and clear. Some people say, David, are you telling me I've got to tell my management team, my employees, how to wipe their ass? The answer is yes, but it's not because they're stupid. It's because you want it done to your standard. You get this opportunity to train people to your standard. And I can tell you anecdotally from member to member to member that when they implement checklists my way, the right way, they have new employees that do things better than anybody else because they trust the checklist. They don't know any better. They trust it and they do as it says. So checklists cannot be too detailed. Now, what I want you to do is I want to take your current checklist, put them aside. They suck. Let's just assume they suck. I want you to give your best employee a blank checklist in each position. So bartender, server, cashier, driver, don't care, line cook, your best employee. What I want you to do is say, fill this out, create the checklist the way you want it done. See, often your daytime bartender is known as the bitch of the bar because she's so pissed off because the nighttime didn't clean the bottles. They didn't restock. They didn't cut lemons and limes. They left her with hell to pay. And all day long, she becomes a prep cook and janitor, cleaning up and doing all the side work that the nighttime people didn't do, that they got to go home without doing anything, and they made even more money. So when I hand that to her, she gets so excitable. Like she is writing down all the things because she says, this is what it needs to be left. So when I walk in, it's prepared and ready to go. because she's doing that for the nighttime people. So now your best employee, each position creates this. Now I want you to do is give it to another person in the same job who's another one of your best employees. Do not share your old checklist. Do not share the person who just did it. Let them create their own. The next step, you've got to promise me you are not going to talk to anybody. No employees, no customers, nobody, because you're about to get really pissed off. I want you to get a yellow pad of paper and a pen. And I want you to walk through the outside of your building, through the front door, all the way through everywhere in the restaurant, including the mop sink and the scuppers, and go out the back door. And I want you to write down everything that pisses you off. As your blood boils, as you go, I can't believe there's fingerprints on this door. I cannot believe there's staples up there. I cannot believe that there's dust bunnies all over here and dead bugs on the windowsill and ... Doesn't anybody do their job? That's what's going to go through your head. See, the problem is it's been your fault. This got created because you didn't walk through your restaurant with attention to detail, with a customer's eye. You ignored the small things. This is where checklists are so important. Then, once you've got this pages of all the shit that pisses you off, you grab your old checklist, the checklist the one good employee gave you, the checklist the next good employee gave you, and the yellow pad of paper, and then I want you to give it to your general manager, to a key employee, somebody, to combine them all. You get to combine them all. Now, I want you to do me a favor. I want to be very clear. Once you do this, you're going to have something I do not understand why we do this as an industry. And I was a participant, both as a manager and an employee. Who can tell me, rhetorical question, don't answer it in the comments, but who can tell me what the hell a cleaning party is? Are you shitting me? We let all the side work not get done to a level that we want on a daily basis. And eventually the restaurant gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier till one day you finally go, holy shit, this is a shithole. And then you pay all of your employees minimum wage or better to walk into your restaurant all together. You bring them in pizza from the restaurant next door. You have a party and everybody cleans. They do all the side work that should have been done all year long, every shift, and you pay extra for it. What the hell is that? Well, you get to have one more cleaning party. See, when I put the right checklist in place, and we talk about the accountability in a moment, I ensure the restaurant is to that standard on a daily basis. Do you understand? It's critical. Now, it's really important also for you to understand your checklists are never finished. You're going to keep adding to them. You're going to keep tweaking, changing them, making them more detailed, making them easier to use. Checklists are not one and done. When things are not getting done to your standard, change the detail. If it's too difficult for people to follow, change what you're asking them to do. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is cultivating a culture of accountability. Without accountability, who gives a shit if you have checklists? You have checklists right now. Nobody's using them. I can't get my managers to use them. Boo frickin' who? Who signs the paycheck? Now, that's the cold, sterile, awful way to say it. Hey, I'm going to coach you, train you, coddle you. I'm going to give you all the non-physical hugs in the world to help you along and make you feel appreciated and understand why checklists are so important, but they're going to get done. So how do you ensure these checklists are followed? It starts with your managers, but extends to every team member. And I'll discuss how to create a culture where managers are not only completing checklists, but also actively ensuring their teams are engaged and accountable. So let me paint you a picture. Y'all know the pain of the AM PM blues? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's when you walk in the morning, unlock the door, de-alarm the restaurant and start doing your walkthrough and go, oh shit, they didn't take that garbage out. It smells like bottled beer. It smells horrible. Oh, they didn't do the last load of dishes, so they're there, and now I've got flies on that thing. Oh, they didn't do this, and they didn't do this. And then you start looking for 6, 7, 8, 9, and you are pissed off as the opening manager. You are pissed off. Who closed last night? Yada, yada, yada. You want to go to that manager log and start bitching and moaning and because you're pissed. The truth, the reality is you're right to be pissed. You got left with a restaurant that was not ready, which means now you have to close the restaurant. You've got to finish all the nighttime side work before you can start your morning side work. Now you and your staff are behind for the rest of the day. It's a terrible way to start. We want to get to a point where we can trust people. So I'll give you another instance. I used to do a lot of consulting. I try and talk people out of it all the time. I'd rather you in my coaching program where you learn the system, you put it in place, you change your company culture. Well, with that said, I used to do consults and I'd be on the ground, and I can't tell you countless number of times I'd walk with a manager and owner, and they'd walk me through the restaurant and they'd tell me, oh, that should have been done last night, but they didn't get it done. I said, what'd you do? And probably 8 out of 10 times I wrote up the employee. Do you know what I'd say? Wrong. You wrote up the wrong person. Why do I have managers? To ensure the process is working. Whose fault is it the employees didn't do their side work, that they went home? The manager. It's not the employee's fault. They're going to get by with doing as little as possible. So if you don't check it and you let them go home, it ain't their fault. You, as management, allowed them to go home. So what we're going to do is change it to a culture of close to open. We close every shift 100% open to open the next shift, whether it's an AM to PM or a PM to AM shift. We want to get to a point where managers trust each other. That instead, when a lead server comes in and says, hey, I'm ready to go home, they're the last one in your door, and you say, was all the side work done? They say, yes. You're going to learn to say, great, show me. Get up off your ass and see what was not done. And if it's not done, that server has to do it, which means they won't let anybody else to go home without doing their side work, because nobody wants to do their work. Because here's the deal, managers, if you allow people to go home without doing their side work and you see it, then you have to do it. You have to make sure all those checklists have been completed, because you're going to hand a shift to the next manager 100% ready to go. We want to trust each other, whether AM to PM or PM to AM, does not matter. We want to trust each other that each manager will give each other a restaurant 100% ready to go. And by the way, if you're an hourly manager and I start to see your pay go up because you're doing other people's side work, we've got a whole nother problem. But the reality is, if you let people go home and they don't do their side work, you do it. Do you know how quickly you are not going to let people go home without side work being done? It's going to take 1 or 2 days. And you're like, I'm done with doing people's work. And then it trickles down to that lead server, and then it trickles down to the employee. That's how we change. We create a culture of closed to open. So again, I want to ask you, why do we have managers? To ensure the process is working. Checklists are the beginning, the keystone to all of your systems. Understand that checklists impose your will without being there. They've got to be detailed. They've got to be used. And the only way that happens is accountability. Now, the fourth thing I want to talk about is about incentivizing checklist completion. And I'm going to tell you, this is brand new. Brand new. Now, when I say brand new, it's a new idea for me that I shared with a member. Now, my group coaching program, we have a lot of real world examples from members, and I mean countless number of members at this point in time, who are getting their checklist completion rates at 90% or better on a daily basis. 90% or better on a daily basis. While I certainly don't have time to review them all with you here today, that's a part of what's in the coaching program. I did want to share an idea that I shared on my live help desk yesterday with one of my members who lives hours away from the restaurant. And that's this. She was getting frustrated. I've got these great key employees. They're doing all these other things. I've got leads. I'm a little bit undermanaged, small restaurant. But I can't seem to get them to follow the checklist. And now that the managers aren't following the checklist, the employees aren't following the checklist, and they're going away. And at this point in time, the owner was at her wit's end and losing their shit, ready to go down there and fire people, because checklists are a non-negotiable. They're critical. So we talked about explaining the why checklists are important. We talked about some of the strategies on getting people to use them. But the reality is, she doesn't have a full-time general manager in that business. It's small revenue, far away. So there's key employees / managers in place. And the last thing she wants to do, she relies on these people and loves these people. She genuinely cares about these people and their well-being. She just wants them to do the damn checklists. So I asked her, I said, how much money do you think you're losing on a monthly basis because people aren't doing the checklists? And we went back and forth from $5,000 to even more. And we settled it on $2,500. We figured that was a conservative number, $2,500. That's the extra labor it takes to do all the side work when people are there longer because somebody didn't do it before. Just go through the list. Lost product, pissed off guests, does not matter. We came up with $2,500. Think about it in your restaurant. If these checklists are not being followed, what are you losing? So he said $2,500. Now I asked this member, if I said, hey, you give me $500 and I'll give you $2,000 back, what would you say? Well, it's a quick yes. Like, who's going to get that kind of return on their money? Like, if I give you $500 and you gave me $2,000, I'd be doing all day long. I'd find every $500 I could find. So again, think about it. We're talking about $2,500 in loss. Now we're going to take 500 of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a bonus program, a carrot stick approach to cure the frustrations of this manager, this owner, and ultimately figure out whether or not we have the wrong leaders on our team, because checklists need to be non-negotiable in your restaurant, period. So here's what I suggested. Now it's going to come out to be a little more than $500, but I said, let's create a bonus program for the management team that there's $20 a day. For every day, they get a 90% or better completion rate in the whole restaurant for every checklist for the whole day. You get the picture? Not their checklist, the whole restaurant. 90% or better for the whole restaurant. $20 will go into a bonus pool for all the managers. Now, day 2, they get 90% or better. We're now up to $40. Day 3, we're up to $60. You get the picture? Day 5, $100, and so on. Now let's say we have this money. We've got this pool that's building. Maybe it's $10. Does not matter what the number is. But it keeps building, building, building. The day we are under 90%, no matter whose fault it is, does not matter because it's managers. It's all the managers. The day we're under 90%, I don't care if it's 89.9. The bonus pool wipes out and we start over the next day. And oh, by the way, if we get to the end of the month and your bonus pool is 0, we have a whole nother problem. And I don't care if it's on the last day of the month that you don't get the 90%, because that means somebody really didn't care. Now, all of a sudden, we've got this carrot stick. I'm going to incentivize you, create this great little bonus program that is going to ensure that I make the money that I'm losing because we're not doing checklists. We're both going to win. I'm going to share it with you. I'm going to give you the ability to see the importance of checklists. I'll even call you every day how the checklist's going. I don't give a rat's ass. I want you to get the money, managers. I want you to have it. But the moment you don't pay attention, the moment you don't do that, it wipes out, goes to 0. You start over. And if we get to the end of the month and that money is a 0 or it's really low, we're going to have a different kind of discussion because checklists are non-negotiable. See, I'm going to do my very best to make them want to do it. I don't recommend this for everybody, but I thought it was a pretty good idea. Today, we covered the critical role of checklists in your restaurants, right? And for your restaurant success, from creating them to fostering a culture of accountability and incentivizing their completion. Implement these strategies and watch your restaurant not just operate, but thrive. And remember, each checklist completed is a step closer to freedom. Freedom of your restaurant and the financial freedom you deserve. Prosperity, restaurant prosperity. That's what you deserve, ultimately. So I want to thank you for joining me today as we explored the transformative power of checklists in your restaurant operations. Now I'm going to tell you, if you were inspired to learn more about systems like these and use them to achieve restaurant prosperity, freedom of your restaurant, the financial freedom you deserve, I'm going to invite you to visit, ready? I'm going to invite you to visit dsp.coach/talk-to-Ryan to learn more. So let's take the next step together towards making your restaurant a true success. Remember, leadership is not just about being present. It's about being effective. That concludes my portion of STS with DSP. Now we can go to your questions, comments, or anything. I will catch back up here where we have. Oh, it's Raul. What up, dude? It is good to have you here, my friend. I look forward to seeing you next week as well, and the team. And then we've got, what do we got here? We've got a hello from Kashmir. Wonderful to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, who's got a question, a comment, questions on checklists, anything? Now is your time. I'm buying a little time because I know there's a delay on a live from when I say it till it gets to your screen. So this is your chance to ask questions, make comments, all yours. We have a good number of us on here this morning, so there's got to be something. Give me a little action. Here we go. Mother's Cantina. This is either Ryan or Neely. It's Ryan, I think. No, it could be Neely. Good morning. Checklists in Jolt are my spirit animals. My checklists single-handedly keep our closed to open culture in place. They are also help me get valuable feedback that I can support my team. So what Ryan is saying, I think it's Ryan, could be Neely. I think it's Ryan. Spirit animal sounds like Ryan. So for my coaching program, we buy a year subscription for our members for one location to a software called Jolt, JOLT.com. It's an online checklist system. I recommend it all day long. I do not get a kickback. I get no money, no financial remuneration. It's just the right thing. I'm going to tell you, it's such the right thing. It's the gold standard of all checklist systems for restaurants, because in my old company, we committed corporate espionage. We copied it. Okay? I'm telling you right now, it is the gold standard. And one of the things that allows us to do is not only have our checklist on our phone or a tablet, a recommended tablet that you share with the team, but it's happy horseshit. Check, 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 check. I can still pencil whip the shit out of a checklist, not do anything, just check, 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 check. And you wouldn't know. Well, no, because when shit isn't getting done, you say dumpster lid was closed. You click yes. The next question is great. Now take a picture of it. Can't use your camera roll. Have to use a live photo. And now all of a sudden, sitting at home, you can say bartenders should be halfway through the checklist right now. Go look at it and see that they're not. You can call up the restaurant or your manager and say, what's going on? What's going on? When you say, hey, I want to make sure, I've got a member who, Deja, who's on here right now, who sometimes has to take a picture of the door has been locked because they've left it open. It reinforces the things that you want done, making sure people get them done because it's great. Show me, prove it to me. Pretty powerful. We've got here, going down. Peter says, my restaurant is fast casual without the real option of letting people go if they don't do their job. Very hard to find good employees. So Peter, I'm going to learn more about your business when we meet, but in Vegas. But I'm telling you that's not true. It is true. It is your current reality. But I would rather run short-staffed than have the wrong people on my team. Let's talk a little bit about, I shared with you the member, I talked about the incentive program. When you let people get away with murder by not doing the checklist, those people are good employees who really care. When they see this person isn't going to do them and doesn't get in trouble for it, they're going to stop doing it. And your standards are going to drop. You're going to lose business. You're going to lose employees. You're going to give shitty service. You're going to have a dirty restaurant, right? It just keeps going. And it's a slow burn. You can't see it right away. It's just a slow burn. You just get worse, worse, worse. I would rather run short-staffed than have the wrong people on my team. Then I would rather you start to work towards becoming an employer of choice. Now listen to my podcast, Restaurant Prosperity Formula, found on all your popular podcasting services, or you can watch the video episodes here on my YouTube channel, David Scott Peters. Either way, I want you to go out there. I want you to look for the one that says becoming an employer of choice. We've got to make our employees feel appreciated, give them the right training, the proper supervision, the right systems, feel like they're a part of something bigger. Training. When you become an employer of choice, they're going to seek you out. Think about it. You want to talk about quick service and having employees? I don't know where you're from, but if you're out west here, we've got a concept called In-N-Out Burger. Vegas, Nevada, Arizona, California, I think Washington, maybe even Oregon. And they have lines of people. Like, this is one restaurant that sells a cheeseburger and a hamburger, French fries, and a frickin' milkshake. That's it. And they have lines of people, like, all day long. And they've got all the employees they want in the world. They pay high, they make lots of money. But because they're an employer of choice, people seek them. They seek out. They want to be a top candidate to work for them. So we've got to change your company culture. It does not mean I don't know that you're not in a small town and it's hard to find people. I've got lots of members in small towns. You still got to become an employer of choice. Hopefully that helps. We can talk in Vegas. Raul says that bonus for management on checklist is a great idea. Thanks, man. I came up with it yesterday live on Live Help Desk. We've got, Raul says, corporate espionage. Yeah, it really was. And we paid for the membership. Peter says we have one cook, one prep person, and about 4 rotating counter. Also my manager and me. Okay. So this is going to be, one, a part of your volumes. If your sales volumes are low, and I understand that this is the case, right? From when I look at this, I've got one cook, one prep person. Let's create some flexibility here. Why do I have a cook and why do I have a prep person? Why wouldn't I have 2 cooks? Why the cooks can't do prep? What is more valuable to you? In a small restaurant like that, why couldn't I have my 4 front of house counter people do some low-level prep? Right? We can start to figure out how to cross-train and utilize these people to do more, to become a part of the organization, teamwork, all those kinds of things. But on the other side, I want you to think about increasing your volumes. I want you to look up my buddy Matt Plapp and America's Best Restaurants. I think if your operation is running really well, you got great product, great service, great employees, great atmosphere, clean, all that stuff, we've got to start to build your sales. Analog Cam, what do you think about a digital ordering apps in sit-down restaurants? I'm Switzerland. I'm a Gen Xer. I want you to frickin' come to my table and order and take my order. I want to see the whites of your eyes. I think great hospitality is an interpersonal experience. But I can tell you that millennials and younger, apps are it. And they've got no problem QR coding or going on the app, the little tabletop display and touching and ordering and paying and doing all those things. I think it has its place. What kind of restaurant are you? Who's your demographic? Do you need speed of service? Are we short on labor? Can that speed things up? I mean, I think Wendy's by 2029 or something like that is going to be completely kiosk. So it's the direction we're going, and it has its place. But 9 out of 10 times, as a Gen Xer, an old hospitality pro, I'm not a fan. But remember, I qualify it. Doesn't mean it's not a good idea. All right, what do we got here? Peter says, great idea. I'm full of ideas. It's whether you take action. So my father had a phrase that said, ideas are cheap. It's the people who put them into action that are priceless. So I gave you an idea. Now you got to make it work. Peter says, ABR is coming here in June with camera crew. Raise the roof, baby. Matt Plapp and team. And you're going to see Matt. Matt is actually speaking both days for an hour or so at the seminar. So you can see him, his team, ask questions. I think that's great. Just know they also have a marketing program that can really help. And they bought my good friend Cameron Carrington's company, Repeat Returns, and now have a loyalty program. And they are building an all-in-one marketing solution that I'm really excited about. That's great. Angie B says, Angie Brown, what up? Great message. Can't say enough great stuff about what happens when the staff does follow the checklist. It is very liberating, like the bonus idea as well. Thanks, Angie. Angie Brown's in the house. All right, how are we doing on time? We're a little 4 minutes over. I'm going to give you a chance for one more question if anybody's got some. But otherwise, I do want to remind you, if you want to come to the seminar, it's $1,000 for you and a guest, basically $500 a person. We're up north in Las Vegas. not on the Strip, but up by Fremont Street. Hotels are cheap. You still can get there cheap on an airline. Maybe you can drive if you're in California or Nevada or somewhere else, Arizona. But the fact of the matter is, the 2 days will change your life. I promise you. I look forward to seeing those of you who already said you're registered, and I will see you next week. But if you're thinking about it, if you need, a kick in the pants, call me, email me. Email me at david@davidscottpeters.com. I'll get back to you as fast as possible. I want to get my name badges into the printer today is my goal. But I'm going to tell you, to change your life. Really will. Raul says, what tech would you recommend that is essential and really helpful? Well, I would say that I would need food and beverage software. As you know, I've been recommending Margin Edge. I think we talk about tech stack, and I've got a live, shoot the shit that I did that walks through the tech stack. But off the top of my head, we need food and beverage software like a Margin Edge. We need a checklist software like Jolt. I need a scheduling software like a 7 Shifts. I need reservation software. I need online ordering software. I need, if I'm catering, I need catering software. I mean, all of a sudden you start going to this tech stack and you go, holy shit. This is one reason why I'm promoting you've got to run a 55% prime cost or under, not 65 like the old timers talk about. The list goes on, but I can try and send you the link if you want me to of the live that walks through step by step, or email you my list of software things that I like. That's just off the top of my head. Michael says, first episode watching, and so apropos, god damn it. I am not the smartest guy in the world. Apropos, as I just last a week instituted checklist after 8 years. Love the bonus idea. Apropos. Michael, you stumped me with, big words, man. No, that's great. I'm glad to have you here. Welcome. Jose says, do you recommend Toast catering feature? I don't not recommend it. I don't know enough about it. I've got members who are using it, have moved away from other software. Here's my biggest thing. The software that you will use, I'm a fan of. They all do about the same shit. It's user interface, it's support, and even bad software that you use on a daily basis will change your world. But if you're going to buy the software or the feature and you're not going to use it, don't pay for it. It's just a tool. You still have to market your catering. You still have to promote the link. You still have to set it up in your POS system. You still have to make sure that it's all linked and so on and so forth. It's more work, but it should simplify things and hopefully improve your sales. So I'm Switzerland on it. I don't have a good thing to say, a bad thing to say, but I can tell you Toast has taken over the world. If I probably have 8, if not 9 out of 10 members now are either on Toast or switched to Toast. It is crazy. I've never seen anything like it in the restaurant world. Peter says, got to run. See you Wednesday. See you Wednesday, my friend. Okay. One more thing just popped up. Mother's Cantina says, I love Toast Catering. It makes invoicing and delegation so easy. And that is Ryan James, one of my member mentors. So there you go. You the best. Thanks, brother. All right, that concludes our time together with Shoot the Shit. I do want to remind you again, last minute, go to my website, davidscottpeters.com, click on the 2-day live seminar. Let me see you in Vegas, 15th and 16th. I just moved us from upstairs to downstairs to open up more seats because we outgrew that space. So I've got room for you. Love to see you. Otherwise, there'll be no Shoot the Shit next Friday because I'll be driving home from Vegas. The next Shoot the Shit will be Friday the 24th, May 24th. Otherwise, we've got to see y'all in Vegas. See y'all in Vegas. Bye, everybody.